Hello, good evening. It's time for another weekend file on the NTA, and we are live in Abuja. Since its discovery in 1958, crude oil has proven to be the lifeblood of the nation, so much so that any disruption in the chain, from production to consumption, both locally and internationally, affects all aspects of national life negatively. This is because oil became the major foreign revenue earning to the nation from independence till date. Over a period of time, Nigeria experiences intermittent disruption in oil supply chain, either due to increase in pump price of petrol, pipeline vandalism, or negative eruption in the international market, such as the current hostilities in Ukraine and other oil wars in the global market. In all these situations, the economy goes down through foreign revenue earning, domestic shortages leading to high cost in transportation, negative impact on the energy consumption, and other incidentals. Just recently, the country got enmeshed in lack of petrol, first in the Federal Capital Territory FCT and the mega city of Lagos, and gradually spilled over other states. The situation prompted a high cost in transportation, food scarcity, and almost paralyzed electricity supply in the country, with other attendant consequences. However, the quick intervention of President Muhammadu Buhari and major stakeholders is rekindling the supply chains in the oil and gas industry, and the bleeding economy is now coming back on track. The long and unabated queues at petrol stations are disappearing, while transportation fees are gradually adjusting back, with other economics taking up. The government on its own has gone back to the drawing board to find a lasting solution to the challenge and ensure that the nation never experiences a repeat situation. But the citizens need to change attitude and trust government so that all parties will be in one page to drive the economy and achieve national aspiration faster. Tonight, our focus is on petrol supply chain, availability and pricing. We have updates from zones as usual, and our guest is Dr. Kayode Obeifa, Transport and Logistics Consultant, a former Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, a former Secretary Transportation, FCT. I am Kenen Ima Aborike. Welcome. Today is first day of Ramadan, expected to last 29 or 30 days following the sighting of the crescent moon yesterday in parts of the country. Garba Muhammad Natala in this special report takes a look at the significance of this holy month and how it is observed.
The month of Ramadan, like other pillars of Islam, is made obligatory for Muslims, utilizing the period for sober reflection. This they do by fasting, making supplications to Allah, reading the Holy Quran, among other several acts of worship. In this month of mercy, the well-to-do are expected to cater for the needy. It is believed that bountiful rewards from Allah awaits those that diligently observe the month, even as Muslims become their brothers' keepers, giving the less privileged a sense of belonging. For example, the likes of Malam Alime Kano, who is 62 years, is old, sick, and has no work, but depends on well-spirited individuals to support him, now do have a respite as Ramadan approaches. This is because throughout this month, one needs not to ask for food. The same goes for Abdullahi Laden, although his condition is quite different, as he earns from the little fruits he sells, yet depends on wealthy individuals to support him. Subject to lessons in the month, the chief imam of Abuja National Mosque adds his voice to what Muslims are expected to do at the Friday congregational prayer.
We are to extend the hand of giving to others so that Allah in His infinite mercy will reward us abundantly.
Muslim faithful have this to say on the significance of the month.
We have no option but to repent back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do what He wants us to do.
We need to look back, to go back in time to when Nigeria was one Nigeria, and put aside all our differences.
Let's try and be kind to our brothers and sisters during this month of Ramadan.
For the likes of Malang Ali Mekano, Ramadan does not only bring sukkah and put food on their tables, but also comes with spiritual upliftment. In Abuja, Garab Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari, in a message to Nigerians and Muslims all over the world, said the period offers a unique opportunity to feel the hunger experienced by the poor so as to feel what it is like to be deprived and marginalized. Muslims, the president emphasized, should seek greater personal discipline, which is necessary for the realization of a great nation. He advised Muslim elites against food waste and extravagant spending, while others face hunger and destitution, urging that they should care for their neighbors, the poor, and the marginalized. He also called for prayers for peace in the country and beyond, and for healing and harmony throughout the world. He wished all Muslims a successful completion of the 30-day fasting period. President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has felicitated with the Muslim Ummah as they commence Ramadan fast, noting that Ramadan is the month Muslims the world over observe one of the 5 pillars of Islam, share with the less privileged, and show love to all. It is a period of spiritual reflection, abstinence, sacrifice, and supplication to Almighty Allah. He urged Muslims to use the period to pray for peace in Nigeria. In the same vein, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, in his Ramadan message to Nigerians, noted that the holy month of Ramadan comes with a lot of blessings and urged Muslims to use the period to pray for peace and unity in the country, as he enjoined the citizens to unite against insecurity and other challenges in the country. Now, Nigeria Police has intensified deployment of its personnel to improve security surveillance along Abuja-Kaduna Highway. Inspector General of Police Usman Al-Kalibaba was in Kaduna to assess level of compliance with deployment order. Haruna Mohammed reports.
The ever-busy Kaduna-Abuja highway sometimes came under attack by armed bandits who usually kidnap people along that corridor. Motorists plying the road expressed fear over the situation. This is what prompted the Nigerian police to adopt a more proactive measure through deployment of more personnel to secure the road.
This is not the first time the Inspector General of Police is visiting the Abuja-Kaduna highway since recent attack of the train by bandits.
Inspector General of Police Usman Al-Kalibaba, on a fact-finding visit to Abuja-Kaduna highway to assess the situation, said providing 24-hour surveillance on the highway remained top priority.
I also want to reassure members of the public that the propaganda or this issue of Kaduna cannot be accessed either by road, by air, or by train. It's not true. The road is safe for motorists to follow, and we'll try our best to keep the road safe.
With the increase in surveillance along the Abuja-Kaduna corridor, it will be difficult for armed bandits to strike again, as police personnel deployed to the area are well equipped to tackle them. Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
Due to yesterday's rain that came with very fierce winds and storms that affected one feeder and consequently resulted in a temporary disruption of power supply at the D wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, Friday night, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has apologized to passengers and other airport users. A statement by Acting General Manager, Corporate Affairs, Faithful Hope Ibaze, says normalcy has since been restored at the affected area after FAN engineers quickly discovered the fault and liaised with the Ejibo Duty Area Control Office of the Power Holding Company of Nigeria and together resolved the problem. The second Niger bridge is edging closer to delivery with the completion of civil engineering work on the bridge deck. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, has described this historic moment as a strong justification of the huge financial resources committed to the project by the federal government. She inspected the project alongside the team from the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority. Austin Edomodu tells us more.
This is the final casting of the remaining 5 meters gap linking the entire bridge from the west to the east approaches. This milestone signifies the end of civil engineering work on the second Niger bridge in tandem with the April deadline. The Minister of Finance, who witnessed this final lap of the casting work, says it is an indication that the financial resources invested on the project will soon be felt by Nigerians who are anxious of using the bridge soonest.
Technically, the two ends of the bridges are linked together today. That is the significance. For me, I can report to Mr. President and say I have seen where all the 157 billion naira has gone to. This is a project that is very dear to His Excellency the President. It is designed to uplift the lives and livelihoods of the people of the southeastern part and the southwestern part of our country.
Regarding compensation is an ongoing affair. We've paid significant sums earlier. I don't have the numbers in front of me today, and there's still some more compensation yet to be paid to some areas as we continue work.
The coming of the second Niger bridge will no doubt have multiplier effects on commerce and industry in the region, as acknowledged by the Anambra State Deputy Governor, Dr. Onyekachi Ibeziem.
We all use this bridge, okay? And this is where we say government should pay attention, okay, on the deliveries of democracy.
So far, 93% of the entire project has been achieved, an indication that the October delivery date for the second Niger bridge is indeed realizable. I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
The structural rejuvenation of the National Theatre in Lagos is progressing steadily, and the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, is optimistic the project will be delivered on schedule to host a global conference of the United Nations slated for November. Michael Olaleye reports.
The iconic National Theatre has been undergoing reconstruction since it was handed over to the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in 2020. The transformations expected to take place at this historical building are carefully mapped out in pictorial representation. To fast-track the pace of work attaining the status represented in pictures, the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, inspected the various components of the building with a view of ensuring that the contractor handling the project adhered to specifications. He commended the tremendous progress made so far, with high optimism that, starting from November 2022, the center will play host to international events.
From what you see, you would not appreciate half of what has gone on. I think we have crossed the Rubicon, and by the time we come back, we'll all see that a lot of work has been buried under.
Although the reconstruction of the National Theatre will cost the Bankers Committee $100 million. But beyond investments, the governor of the CBN appreciated the vision of the president at ensuring that spaces are provided for youth through the creative industry, with the expectation that once commissioned in November, the foundation of the 4 verticals, music, movies, IT, and fashion hubs, will be laid.
It is going to be business where the monies will be realized again. And I'm happy that foreign investors are already showing interest, and I want to place it on record that we have received inquiries even from the United States from investors who have said that they are interested in taking a look at not just the National Art Theatre, but also the creative opportunities that we are developing around here.
Lagos State is not just providing funding, but dredging of the area and establishing connectivity through rail and the waterways, the final output of which will make the state attractive for international events.
There is an entertainment event that we're taking to Atlanta. Lagos is actually, or Nigeria is actually going to Atlanta, the hip hop, award. But it's also because there's no place, like the National Art that we will, so that will be the very last time that would happen. So subsequent years, we'll be bringing America back here.
A similar inspection is expected to take place in the next 2 months, and the goal is to give a total facelift to the entire 44 acres of land housing the National Theatre. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
Permanent Secretary, State House, Tijani Umar, has led a team of management staff for an on-the-spot assessment of the current state of facilities in State House, Dorden Barracks, the former seat of government in Ikoyi, Lagos State. The facility was the seat of government business until it was moved to Abuja in 1992. State House has since then maintained a liaison office in Lagos which provides protocol and logistic support for top government functionaries visiting or passing through Lagos. Speaking at the town hall meeting with staff in Lagos, the permanent secretary said the presidential facilities in Lagos will receive the necessary attention needed to make them active, functional and effective in delivering services, including the library and archives, to allow interested Nigerians have access to important national documents on Nigeria's history. Preparing an economically level playing ground for the youth today is an investment to guarantee their future. Emmanuel Akila reports that Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya of Gombe State, who believes in this, is the first rider of the 1,000 tricycles the state government procures to empower the youths.
The governor inaugurates 1,000 tricycles to be given as soft loans to encourage the youths who cannot afford it by themselves, as the Keke Napep gains preference as a means of township transportation.
We are doing so with a view to making an all-inclusive program and policy that will make sure that we take off our youth and provide means of livelihood and in fact enhance the trade and vocation and skills of all our people so that their means of life and livelihood will improve and the economy will be rejuvenated, especially post-COVID.
The state government calls the initiative youth empowerment, but the youth themselves says it's economic emancipation and are willing to apply themselves into its objective for the economic prosperity of not only Gombe State, but the nation. This is for self-reliance. As it is said, it's better to teach a child how to catch a fish than giving the child a fish. During a courtesy visit to the governor, the executive chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Muhibat Ankaka, appreciated the job creation and empowerment of the youths by the state government as a way of balancing the shortfall in employment in the country. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
The Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Gambari, says President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to improving the livelihood of women in Nigeria. He stated this in Abuja, Ogun State, during the flag-off of the World Bank-assisted Women Empowerment Program. Leko Abunde reports.
At the flag-off of the first phase of Women Empowerment Program, which was designed to empower women in 6 states, the Chief of Staff to the President, Ibrahim Gambari, says the intention is to lift over 100 million women out of poverty. He explained that the effort is to also change the discriminating social norms that are precluding women from achieving their full potentials.
Mr. President is devoted to Nigeria for Women's project because by being for women, we are being for Nigeria. Women for Nigeria working together is the only way in which we can lift our country to achieve the potential to which its resources and the Almighty God has destined us.
Some of the physical manifestation of the project include financial education, savings and credit education, business skills, gender and life skills, among others.
Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, while announcing the disbursement of individual livelihood grants to 2,094 women across the state, says the scheme, in collaboration with Nigerian for Women project, is targeted at alleviating poverty and increasing prosperity of women.
The objective of the Nigeria for Women projects is in tandem with our own Okowo Dapo. It is simply apt that we use this occasion to disburse the individual grants to our women beneficiaries.
The beneficiaries commended the initiative and promised to make judicious use of the grants. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Today, those living with autism are recognized globally. A recognition not to create stigma, but telling the world the special potentials inherent in this set of humans. Abdulmalik Hassan, however, tells us how the 2022 edition took place in Abuja.
Autism, a neurodevelopmental disorder that impairs the ability to communicate and interact with others effectively. But most autistic children are believed to have special talents, ranging from art, creativity, academic intellect, musical bands. Here a team of musical band They are autistic in nature, but their performance is wonderful. To recognize their potential led to this campaign to say autism is not a death sentence.
The theme for this year's World Autism Awareness Day is inclusion in the workplace. What does that mean? That some people with autism have grown, so we have to give them an opportunity to contribute their quota to society. And I met this young man who is a brilliant piano player. And that was my first experience with autism. And over the years, I've realized that there are so many children with autism that society has ignored. But these children are value-adding human beings.
To the glory of God, I have coped with my autistic daughter for 21 years. And everything is fine. She is in school and coping well.
And if you notice anything different about your child, it's very, very important you take the child for diagnosis so that the early detection will help the child to be corrected on time.
This campaign targets to change the mindset of those who feel ashamed of having autistic children and give them the care they deserve. Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
In other stories, President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with Chief Fatai Olaniyi Adebenro, Oshi of Owu Kingdom and Baloro of Ewaland on his 80th birthday, April 3, 2022. President Buhari joins family, friends and associates in celebrating the milestone heralded by many years of service to the nation and humanity. He extols Chief Adebenro for always putting the interest of the nation first in all his undertakings. The president prays for his good health and strength as he turns 80. In the same vein, President Muhammadu Buhari joins family and friends to rejoice with the former First Lady of Lagos State, Christian Otedola, on her 90th birthday. In a letter to the celebrant, President Buhari noted her selfless service and charitable works when she served as First Lady of Lagos between 1992 to 1993, while extolling her many contributions to the people of Ebe, most recently the building and dedication of St. Peter's Catholic Church. The President wishes her many years in good health. You're watching Weekend File on the NTA. Time for our first break. Stay.
I just show myself what my whole team win. How much are your
Data Unlimited to experience Dance Unlimited on Glow TV. Watch Battle of the Year and other amazing TV content with Glow TV data plans that will make you dance. Dial *777# to choose the right data plan for you.
Dear friend, how are you? I can smell the goodness of Easter around you. But wait a minute. Do you know you can enjoy Easter in luxurious comfort like never before? Because this Easter, Bedmates Furniture invites you to discover new levels of comfort with furniture that brings life to your home. Seriously, now is your last chance to have a memorable Easter and beyond. From 21st March to 20th April 2022, get furniture you love at unbelievable low prices with free gifts in our showrooms. Hurry now before others choose the finest units you want.
My son has always dreamt of being in the spotlight. That's why I give him Born Vita for everyday vitality that gives him the strength to pursue his dreams. Born Vita, strength to dream.
Berekete Plus is here. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New Glow customers will get 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial *777# for existing Glow customers.
Our pastors, our imams, in every church, in every mosque, please realize that in the course of praying for peaceful and transparent elections, we all have duties beyond prayers. If we want a stable society before, during, and after the elections, what should you be saying to those that worship with you? All Sundays Mondays and all Fridays, you are saddled with the responsibility of bringing up good generations. It is therefore your duty to both man and God to ensure peace all the time, no matter about elections alone. People talk to people and people listen. Talk to your followers. Make them listen to ensure peaceful 2023 elections. This message from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back to Weekend File. Business continuity in the oil and gas sector is critical to sustaining uninterrupted product supply. It is more so when petroleum product users access these products seamlessly. Key players are continuously collaborating to restore normalcy across the country. Lydia Sampson now reports on the challenges and efforts at tackling them.
Some of the most important mandates of oil and gas industry players are to ensure seamless product supply, distribution, and availability. These in turn translate to motorists driving in and out of petrol stations to top up their fuel without stress. Unfortunately, unexpected challenges sometimes occur, leading to disruptions in the supply chain. And industry players are quick to rally collaboration to mitigate these challenges.
The trucks cannot really cope with these high diesel prices. So although the product was available in the depot, the trucks were not able to take some of this product because of the high cost of transporting PMS.
The visit to petrol depots in Lagos by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is one of many efforts geared towards tackling the issue from the root.
To assure Nigerians that we are working daily 24/7 to ensure that everything comes to normalcy in terms of petroleum product PMS distribution nationwide.
The same tenacity was deployed to tackle the issue of off-spec product imported into the country by some companies.
To receive products that are off-spec, even though there's a surveyor that actually went on board that took samples. Because this parameter was not indicated, they didn't capture that parameter. So it's a mistake. Now, going forward, obviously, we have to try and look at all parameters.
However, this is all now lacking to water under the bridge as through renewed collaboration, 48 petrol stations in Abuja and its environs were set aside for 24-hour services.
Just came from Lokoja and I see that here it's free. I'm very happy. If it's like this in this our country, man, we'll be very, very happy, man.
We're happy that the situation has come to an end.
Determined to sustain these successes recorded in the supply chain, stakeholders have strengthened collaboration further. Major setbacks depleting production and supply are the issues of crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism. And the NNPC CEO says the company is working with security operatives to tackle them.
Enormous work is going on between us and relevant government security agencies, our partners, particularly those on the corridors that are impacted, and also the community members. And I'm very, very optimistic that within the next 2 to 3 weeks, very, very measurable outcomes will come.
In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
If the supply of petrol in a mega city like Lagos is increased, it will to a large extent reduce the hardship experienced by residents, including long queues and traffic on some major roads. Correspondent takes a look at constraints militating against the availability of petroleum products in the state.
Fuel scarcity in Nigeria, particularly in Lagos State, has remained a recurring decimal in recent times, despite concerted effort by government agencies and stakeholders in the industry to find a lasting solution to the sudden resurgence of long queues at filling stations. Lagos, a cosmopolitan city, has many tank farms in different locations in the state. To this end, it is expected that the situation of privately owned tank farms will ease the scarcity of fuel being experienced in the state.
Really affect everyone. I wouldn't say only me, because the place you're supposed to get to at the, let's say like 1 hour, you're getting there like 3 hours after. And let's say you're going to VI. On a norm to take VI for 200 naira, and now they take like 400 naira.
The only thing I would say is to advise people not to panic, because I got here and there's no queue, no nothing. I just drove into this place and got my gas.
However this happened is a miracle. So to see it being free today is something that we need to thank God for.
We can but express some level of thankfulness that the thing was short-lived.
Stakeholders at different fora have agreed that for petrol availability and supply chain to be effective, other means of transporting the products apart from road should be considered. Also, the tracks leading to the port should be rehabilitated for ease of movement of petrol products to the city and the suburbs.
There is need to expand this road, reconstruct the road, reinforce it in such a way that it can carry the heavy load associated with this kind of businesses.
There is product now. The industry has gathered itself. The industry is compensating. There are lots of sacrifices along the supply chain to make sure that Nigerians have fuel at the pump.
While government agencies are working round the clock to improve supplies, stakeholders have however called for a holistic approach to the supply value chain for the availability of the petrol, thereby putting an end to the recurring queues noticeable at filling stations across the state. In Lagos, Kendi Adebisi, NTA News.
And joining us via Zoom in Lagos is of course, in our Lagos studio is our guest tonight, Dr. Kayode Obeifa, Transport and Logistic Consultant, former Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, former Secretary, Transportation FCT. Dr. Obeifa, you're welcome to Weekend File. Welcome to Weekend File.
Very much.
Oh, well, of course, in the past weeks, many Nigerians found it very difficult to have access to petrol. We saw petrol stations across the country with so many queues, some having access to the fuel with some levels and degrees of difficulty. But things appear to be leveling up now. Normalcy has actually returned in most parts of the country as far as the situation is concerned. Well, as a consultant, how would you appraise the situation that occurred within the period in Lagos where you stay?
Thank you very much. I've had opportunity during this period to have traveled through Lagos, Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Kaduna, and Kano State. So I can speak with regards to these measures. I've also taken time to speak with stakeholders in the industry for us to share notes as to what the situation actually has been. Let me say that the situation is now under control. It's an unusual one, and it's not really a perennial situation because we've not had this situation of queue up for many years back. This came as a result of an ospec in the supply chain, and that was quickly identified, isolated, quarantined, and to some extent withdrawn. And when you have this kind of situation for a liquid product, the process of withdrawal is not as you will expect with a solid or physical product. You will have problem of what you call reverse logistics because the supply chain is not designed to go backward. So that created an issue. Then with that came the issue of panic. And then also came the issue of a reduction in the capacity to really distribute because some of the tanks, some of the petrol station tanks, some of the depot already had the Oxford product. But by and large, the NNPC and all the other subsidiary were transparent enough to give the necessary information of the OSPEC, what they have done to get it out of the system and what they were doing. However, the fear had already been set in, the supply chain had already been disrupted, and because of that, you will now have problem of one, reversing the logistics and then returning the logistics back. And that was what we experienced for the first 4 weeks. But you also have, along this period, the problem of the war in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia, to one of the major giants in energy supply, gas. That caused the price of crude to go up. The price of diesel went up. There was also shortage of diesel. And you have to move these products also in tanks because have over or close to 4,000 kilometers of pipeline had also been compromised. So they have to find a way to breach the cost of moving the product so that the price doesn't go above the unexpected. So we must give some commendation to the players, all the stakeholders in the petroleum supply chain industry for managing that period. For me, having followed the situation in Lagos, it's green, it's okay. It was well managed. And also, let us note the queue itself and the period of scarcity was not destructive. When I say was not destructive, was not what we're used to. When this situation happens, you see the price at the pump price getting out of control, both at major marketers and other independent. This time around, the stakeholders were able to manage the situation and be able to control all this. So we must also give kudos to the regulatory agencies that were just recently inaugurated via the Petroleum Industry Act, that is the Nigerian midstream and downstream authority. Then you also have the NNPC, the Ministry of Petroleum and Mineral Petroleum Resources, and all the other, the marketers, the independent marketers, the major marketers, the depot managers, the retailers, and all of them. And then the Petroleum Tanker Driver Association of NUPEN. Everybody came together, they faced the issue, and I believe they deserve commendation in this regard.
Well, kudos to all the stakeholders, particularly the federal government and the major stakeholders that ensure that normalcy was returned in that sector. But you would notice that while that problem lasted, it appeared that there was an attitude by most Nigerians, because even while the product was scarce, so to speak, we also saw the same products being sold everywhere in what they call a black market. That's a very negative attitude on part of Nigerians. So what would be your advice on that?
For me, action and reaction are equal and opposite. What we could have done is to do more with our communication system, both from the media side, and as long as the provider, the NNPC and the stakeholder says the product is available, I think that should be the message we should be spreading to people. And for those who sell in jerrycan, the stakeholders are also able to manage it. Don't forget, some people will need to buy for their generators. Yeah, in the process of trying to satisfy those who want to buy in jerrycan for their generators and the rest, there's also the conflict. So I think those are things with time we will get out of it. We've not seen this for quite some time. I believe the last time was 2016 or so. There was a slight, about few days in 2017. So I wouldn't bother myself about those attitudes. I think those attitudes will gradually get so when people get to understand, to trust and to believe. Then we need to speak to the media. The media also need to trust efforts by stakeholders. When the NNPC keeps saying they have million metric tons, they have this number of tons, and they are verifiable tons, I believe at that point in time, all we need to now start explaining to people that due to logistics reasons, this thing might not get there, but definitely there will be fuel. And I think we will overcome it. It's just a matter of reaction. We will overcome it.
All right, Dr. Obeifa, hang in there, because we are going on break on Weekend File. When we return, we shall continue our discussion.
I find the strength I need every time that I look into your eyes. You show me. I know they worry, 'cause I know that you did by my side. And when the night comes, you hold me in your arms and you say, I'll never let you go, my sweet baby. No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day, no matter where it's been. I show you show me love. You show me love. Every moment you walk You're the tire just to take care of me. Even when I'm at my worst, you see there, you see the best in me. Whenever I call, you know the value always answer. Always there to hold me closer. You never let me down. You love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day, no matter where it's been. I show you, you show me love. I find the strength I need every time that I look into your eyes. You show, and if I fall away, right in the midst of all my hours. You know that I am on my way. You always take for me. No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day, no matter where it's been. I show you, you show me love. You show me, you show me, you show me. No matter where it's been, I show you, you show me love. You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Thanks for staying with us. Despite the fact that the neighboring Niger Republic is into production of petroleum products, some Nigerians still choose to smuggle the product from Nigeria to Niger Republic. In this report, Shehu Muhammad Dati takes a look at the situation and what concerned authorities are doing to checkmate it.
That is bordering Niger Republic with 4 local governments through which smuggling activities are carried out. Petroleum marketers in the state denied smuggling out the product, but attributed its scarcity to hardship they face in getting the commodity from the depots in Lagos and Port Harcourt. Investigations reveal that the gain of such illegal activity is selling the product at high rate. It, however, does not only serve as an economic sabotage, but causes hardship to Nigerians.
Yeah, we are telling the government to do something possible because it's a lot of trouble. I have to take my children to the school yesterday. I bought a gallon at the rate of 1.5.
Those that are responsible for this issue, please, they should help the masses. We are pleading, let them fix it.
Controller, Customs, Sokotos and Product Command, Abdulhamid Maaji said his men are on alert in checkmating the trend, which had led to the arrest of jerrycans with the product crossing the border.
We are making a lot of effort to patrol our border through the collaboration of other agencies. And so far we have made some arrests, but mostly in jerrycans. You see like 2 or 3 jerrycans. Even those ones, we don't allow it. They have been arrested.
From Kebbi State, the state commander of the customs services said high rate of smuggling petrol is because the state shares borders with 2 other countries. On assumption of duty, the state controller inaugurated a bunkering squad, a move that made the state a no-go area for smugglers.
We need the support of the border community dwellers because these motorbike riders that smuggle petroleum products in jerrycans, they are not following any motorable road. They follow farms. They pass through footpaths, and these footpaths pass through people's farms. Give us information.
In the state, stakeholders in the petroleum industry have denied smuggling of the product across borders, even as a liter is still being sold above 200 naira in most filling stations.
There has been no report whatsoever of any smuggling because we receive reports every day from the depot, from all other places and stakeholders, and we have never received any report of smuggling.
Weekend File observed that many filling stations have been shut down due to absence of the commodity, while the few selling at government-approved price continue to experience long queues. In Sokoto, Show Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Let's rejoin our guest in Lagos, Dr. Kaido Beifa, transport and logistic consultant. Dr. Beifa, before the break, we were talking about the nefarious activities of petrol black marketers, even while the problem existed a while ago. But aren't you looking in the way of some form of sanctions to such petrol stations who vehemently concentrate on selling to these black marketers instead of availing the service to those who really need it, in terms of car owners who spend night and day at their petrol stations waiting for the elusive product?
I think we need to situate it in two sections. Those that are buying and selling in jerrycan within the towns and cities in Nigeria, and those that are buying or that are moving in jerrycans out of the country. In the first instance, it is because there are buyers, and that's why you see people selling it. My driver was once tempted to go and buy in jerrycan because I said, no, just go and queue. He went to queue, and in about 1 hour, I saw him buy. I said, how far? He said he got it. So if we that are buying, if we that needed the product, stop patronizing those in jerrycans, that market we see. And that's why you see mostly those guys have their jerrycans with them, and sometimes for a whole day they don't find buyers. Because all we need to do is to keep letting people know that the products are available. On the issue of those who take it across the country, these are socioeconomic issues. It's price differential. Nigeria sells at 162, 165. Some of these countries, bordering us, sells at 300, 350, 600, just few kilometers or few meters away from Nigeria's border. So what do you expect? Some people will make it a matter of business to move that product from one point to the other. That's their own form of business. It is our own responsibility as a government and all the government agencies responsible to make sure it doesn't happen. So things that we may not know, I know very well, is that those that are engaged in these activities are always being sanctioned. And like your reporter also posited, some of those stations are being shut down. So as long as there are price differential between countries and between cities, between spatial environment, you will see this kind of activities. And by and large, I think it's a major issue for our security operatives, the customs, and the rest, to make sure if we are able to bring down the level of these activities, then it will stop. But as long as you have price differential, it becomes lucrative for people to move from one point to the other. They will continue to make attempts. It is left for government to put up mechanism to make sure that the process is discouraged. That's my own view.
While we continue to look at discouraging some of those ugly practices, as far as the petrol station, petrol issues are concerned, of course, you did mention earlier in the course of the discussion that this may not just come and go, finally, because of certain happenstances across the world. So when it does happen again, by fate or by accident, what should we be looking at?
And people all over the world need to understand that energy is a universal currency and is determined by international situations and occurrences. As long as the prices of crude increases, there will be increase in the cost of diesel, and the prices of diesel will continue to go up. As long as the prices of diesel goes up, the people who move the product will continue to ask for some changes to the price. For us in Nigeria, it is a regulated product. So that is not what is causing the scarcity. Like I said, we've had these changes in prices, in crude prices for some time, which has not affected supply. We had this issue because of the oil spec, which the the stakeholders and the regulators in the industry were able to manage. So as long as the regulators continue to do what they are doing, that is making sure that the product is available, making sure that the reserve is there, and then when there are disruptions in the international market, it's not just Nigeria. The whole world will have to face the consequences. These are the issues of equilibrium of supply and demand and pricing. And I think what every country will do is just to make sure that they find a way to release some of the reserves, which NNPC did in this case when we have the OSPEC, pending the time the supply will move in. Because there were also disruption in the transportation routes of this supply down to they released from the reserves and that bridges. America is doing the same thing also for crude. They are releasing from the reserves. And I believe NNPC had consistently made it clear to us that they have reserves that can last 10 to 30 days. And I don't expect any disruption of this nature. We've not had it for over, I believe, since 2016, 17. So we shouldn't expect to have this again. Nigeria should just leave and be rest assured that the stakeholders in the industries are working in unison to make sure that whenever there's a disruption, there will be an appropriate response to manage it, and rather than going to.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kayode Obeifa, Transport and Logistic Consultant. Thanks indeed for your submissions on Weekend File tonight. Now, a group of APC party faithful in Rivers State, made up of different ethnic groups, are calling on the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, Prince Tonye Pricewell, to declare for the governorship race in the state come 2023. Jenny Bassi tells us more.
The 2023 general elections draw closer. There are clamors among APC party faithful in Rivers State for the party to field capable candidates that will lead the party to victory come 2023. It is on this note that a cross-section of APC faithful from different ethnic groups residing in Rivers State contend that to improve the economy and for political stability of the state are calling on a chieftain of the party, Tonye Princeville, to run for the governor of the state as they believe he is the best choice to deliver the state.
Should come out. You should come out and contest for governor in Rivers State. That we, the APC in Anton,
we need a change of government. And we believe that the person that can change this government for us is the person of Prince Tonye Princeville. Yeah.
They describe Tonye Princeville as an asset to the state, a good listener, humble with integrity, calling on him to contest the Guba election come 2023.
We need a capable hand who can turn all these things around. We want you to come to rescue Rivers people, young people like us.
You are a philanthropist. You are doing well. You are seeing your hand up.
According to the group, the background, political history, and lifestyle of Tonye Princeville make him stand out as the candidate to fly the flag of APC in Rivers State. As the son of the Amayarabo of Kalabari Kingdom, His Royal Majesty King Professor T.J.T. Princeville, the group says he has over the years proved himself worthy, stating that his depth of experience in politics and political engineering speak for him. In Port Harcourt, Johnny Bassi, NTA News.
We have one more commercial break for you.
That in the last decade, this country has been at different wars trying to keep the peace and promote the sovereignty and the integrity of the country. The troops are doing their best. The president has given them all the necessary tools. It is left for us as young people and as Nigerians to give them all the support we can. We say kudos to all our gallant military men. Please, whenever you see a police officer in or out of uniform, if you know them, clap for them whenever they need. Give them seats in buses and trains and airplanes. Have the airline managers reduce air tickets for them or train tickets for them. Show them that we appreciate what they do and show their families that there is something right and honorable and truly remarkable about wearing a uniform and going into the bushes and the forest to fight enemies of this country that are hell-bent in bringing your life to an end. It's a very tough time, but we have to all put our hands together. Please support our troops and support our police officers.
Next is sports update.
The 2022 season of Higher Institution Football League (IFL) is set to commence this April with registration and accreditation of teams of institutions of higher learning across the country. Over 60 institutions will trade tackles with one another through the qualifying and group stages scheduled for May across cities in the country.
These games is more than football. We are going to provide engaging platforms, bigger than just the games, that engages students, even if they are home on the football, on IFL platform.
The nation at large is, passionate about. Most importantly, the fact that it brings joy to the youth and they can then balance up curricular and extracurricular.
The Super 4 is scheduled for September 2022. In another news, the maiden edition of the Dodo Mayana Soccer-thon Under-13 Football Championship kicked off at Laura International School. The grassroots football tournament, which seeks to develop talents from the school system, featured 4 schools. In the final, Caro Favor College beat host Laura International School via Longo, the match champions.
To make me more interested in football and more serious, to be like other Nigerian great footballers in future.
It's not about losing, it's about we play more than them too. We play more than them, but we still lost.
In the Nigerian Professional Football League, Match Day 20 actions will take the center stage across various stadia of the federation this weekend. Kwara United will host Remo Stars. Niger Tornadoes will trade tackles with Dakada FC, while Rivers United will play away to Aqua United, among other matches. In the English Premier League, Chelsea were humiliated at home 1-4 Saturday afternoon by Brentford. Burnley bowed at home 0-2 to the fireworks of Manchester City. Liverpool was 2-0 better than Watford as Norwich City snatched an away point at the expense of Brighton and Hove Albion in a match that ended in a goalless draw, among other results. With sports update, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
Remember, you can always join the NTA in the fight against rape and rapists. That's Weekend File. Thanks indeed for watching. I am Kenan Ima Abulike. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.